I think it's gonna go way better this time. Now, before we have a look at the latest CRT acquisition, which was very kindly lent to me by a friend, thank you very much, I'm excited to check it out, but I do think we first need to discuss the previous video with this little guy. Now, when my CRT Gary friend saw that video, they said it was impressive how I got every detail wrong, which is quite flattering. I feel like that's one of my few skills at this point. Now, aside from a whole bunch of issues with this little TV, and yes, I know it's a TV and not a monitor, I misspoke in that video and it enraged a whole bunch of people. Did that piece of human garbage just say that TV is a monitor? Aside from a bunch of issues with it, I think one of the big problems with it is that the incessant whine that it makes is apparently a sign that something's about to explode in it. So not only is it not a very good CRT TV that was not correct for the use case I was using it for, it's also kind of dying. Although, despite it being an example of pretty much everything that can go wrong when acquiring an old CRT, I did kind of like the little dying monitor. But this time around, I got a CRT monitor instead, which also says Trinitron on it. Very exciting. Now, the TV in question is a 17-inch Dell P780, which not only is quite a bit bigger than the Sony, but also much higher resolution. The Dell's max resolution gives it a pixel density that's competitive even by today's standards. So it's going to be sharper with more legible text, making it much more usable for desktop application. Now, in terms of inputs, we're very limited because it's soldered to the back and there's just one, but it is Mesozoic period inputs, which apparently is what you want for this kind of thing. But with that, let's hook a system up to this bad boy and do some gaming on it. Oh, I really don't miss having to screw down my display cable. Oh, they really knew how to make buttons back in the day. It feels like turning on the Matrix. Wow, it takes real long to turn on. Sign in. Whoa, it's so bright. It's a bit flickery though. Oh wow, you can really feel it searing your retinas. This is not as comfortable to look at as a modern display. Quick editor's note while I set the resolution to the Windows recommended one. You can normally eliminate that streak slowly going down the CRT with the correct shutter speed settings on your camera. Although because of the frequency that this specific monitor is refreshing at, there isn't a shutter speed setting in my camera that completely eliminates it, so it may be semi-present for most of the video. Sorry about that. And after spending quite some time playing around with various settings trying to eliminate that artifact, I found the best setting ever in the monitor's menu. Oh. Now apparently at this resolution we can set this monitor to 85 Hz for some high refresh rate gaming. So let me quickly make a custom resolution for that. Yes. Oh, there we go. Look at that. You can actually kind of tell as well. Oh, there's weird flickering happening now. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem. 85 Hz films even worse. Unfortunately, every frame rate I tried flickered just in a different way, so with that in mind, let's do some gaming. Hey, there we go, Battlefield 5. Oh. Okay, that was a bit weird, but we're in, and damn. Yo, you can't feel the display at all. My laude. That is a bit annoying. Every time the game changes the resolution or whatever, you have to go through this process of like realigning everything over, which is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. In terms of things like geometry, it's actually looking pretty good because the like telephone poles and stuff are straight. The image is so much better than the little TV because we have actual resolution, right? So we can like see things, which is a very positive change. The actual color fidelity is way better as well. and it feels a lot more responsive. Although I will say, if anything, it does feel like the little TV had slightly better motion rendering. But this was with the monitor running at 60 Hz, so despite mad flicker for you, I decided to try out 85. 85 Hz on a CRT looks like 240 Hz on an LCD. Like this is... Like, what? While I was marveling at the detail and motion rendering while playing BattleBit, I did notice things were quite dark, which caused memories of the CRT gamma tightrope to come flooding back, where with every game you have to find that sweet spot of having actual detail in the dark areas without having the image too blown out. Okay, it looks a bit more washed out now, but you can actually see the darkness. I was also becoming a bit worried about the monitor's health, which occasionally would flicker off and on. Oh, there we go, it keeps doing that. But aside from the signs of dementia, the modern FPS gaming experience on this monitor is really impressive. But it also gave me a hankering for something a bit older. We've even got things like gamma settings, very exciting. Ooh, the black levels are so dark. We're gonna have to push the gamma up. Wow, is this what games looked like back in the day? Games looked so much better back in the day than I remember them looking. And with a bit more driver brightness, it looked even better. Like, there is obviously like a lot about it that looks like low graphic games, but it's so sharp. And the colors are so nice, and the movement is so good. There's so much about it that's really pleasing. What's cool about the CRT is that it makes all gaming feel like retro gaming because of just what it does to the way things look. Oh, yo, but it's been doing that a lot. I don't know. I think the CRT is not long for this world. At some point, they're just all gonna die, and we're never gonna see CRTs again. But this is like way too bright. I'm gonna have to turn it down more. And after finally settling on a gamma compromise for Half-Life 2, I had a great idea. Playing Quake 2 RTX on a CRT is pretty cool, because it's like very retro gaming-y, but then you have it infused with modern technology, with the like ray tracing. So they're actually taking advantage of the modern hardware, you know? Hey, Black Mesa. That looks so just like it's supposed to be on a CRT. Whoa, they've really changed a lot since the last time I played it. Whoa, it's all so different. Oh, I feel like it's happening more frequently. I do not think this CRT is very long for this world. And after spending ages indulging my trip down augmented memory lane, I decided to compare this much better CRT to some of the best display technology available today, OLED. Oh no, I think the little PCs died because I lost video output to the monitor and I thought maybe the CRT died. But then I plugged the laptop into it, which is working, and I've now plugged that into another monitor. I can't get a signal out of it. It's not the point of this video, but it's just tragic that the little Japan PC is already acting up. Okay, so I've set up the 42-inch OLED here to compare to the little CRT that we have here. And they actually look surprisingly similar. Now, getting the obvious differences out of the way, the OLED is 500 times the size, it's much higher resolution, but having them side by side, I'll say that the CRT has a lot more in common with the OLED than it does with an LCD. Like, I think their image quality is very comparable, especially when it comes to stuff like the really deep black levels in this area. An LCD can't do that. Although, with the CRT, it does have that very CRT issue of you can tell the color of the actual display in the black levels. Like a beige haziness to the deep blacks. Whereas you can tell that the screen surface of the OLED is a lot better because the black is black. It doesn't have that display surface color tinge to it. In terms of motion rendering and input lag, they trade blows, but I'd say that the CRT inches ahead. Now the camera doesn't do this justice, but I think the OLED wins hands down in terms of dynamic range. It's better at giving you detail in dark scenes without blowing out the highlights, something the CRT really struggles with. But in person, the image quality between these two is remarkably similar. Wait, was the last 20 years of technological development a complete waste of time? Well, obviously not. There are huge practical advantages to an OLED. It's not like you can have a CRT display in a phone. How am I gonna fit this in my pocket? And the whole crushed black level thing makes some games unplayable on the CRT. I did my first raid of the new Wipe and Escape from Tarkov on the CRT, and I couldn't see a thing. Even with the sun blinding, I couldn't see anything in the shadows. CRTs really do not like Escape from Tarkov. But at the end of the day, it was awesome to see how well the CRT's image quality held up compared to a high-end modern display. Nostalgia clearly isn't the only thing making them desirable again. Which brings me to the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, bye bye.